So, in the previous sessions, we have discussed about what exactly the product owner role is all about and what responsibilities that we need to be rendered. And we have discussed about, of course, you guys have already completed product owner training as we discussed about defining the goal, vision, at the same time understanding the release management process, at the same time MVP, followed by product backlog grooming, right? So all these were discussed in the previous session as far as the role of a product owner, especially in the agile environment. Today, our session is all about AI because nowadays the transformation towards the role of a BA by implementing different tools using artificial intelligence is becoming essentially important. Because as I could see, many of the people who are transform their career into the role of a product owner from the business analyst side, all that few people were product owners. Now they are working, but this is an additional skill set that what is that we are learning now, how artificial intelligence is being useful for any kind of product owner role, in what way it is going to be discussed, like for example what are the different AI tools that we are going to use on day-to-day basis. At the same time, we must be knowing about the prompt engineering because which is booming up now. The importance of prompt engineering and how and what are the key effectiveness whenever we are working on AI prompt engineering when there is any kind of AI interactions that we are going to do, and generally customization of artificial intelligence for any kind of teams. And majorly, being a product owner, we need to focus more on the product perspective, so the product requirements and strategy. Product requirements and strategy is the one which normally being into the product owner role want to be identified with, because being a product owner, when we are transformed our career, so to extend our skill sets from the artificial intelligence point of view, we must be knowing about how are we going to gather the requirements, or how are we going to gather the product requirements and identifying and implementing the strategy using AI. This is something which we need to know. Next, second one, we must be knowing about the user stories, right? So how the user stories will be created. Okay, so user story creation is also one of the key and important element we need to do. User story creation, and at the same time, if you want to refine any kind of user stories, all that user story creation and as well as refinement will be required. Next, how are we transforming this to the agile teams? This is even required because for other team members, I mean to say, okay, because we have other development team we have, right? So let's say that we are following Scrum framework and all. We have Scrum developers who will be focusing more on completing the work within the limited timelines using the sprints, etc. Or else, if it can be a Scrum master role who will be identifying the progress of the work, right? So by preparing some burn-down charts, burn-up charts. If you follow Scrum, if you're following Kanban and all, then cycle time reports, everything will be prepared. You know that, right? So following a Kanban, it's a different story altogether. Right? So that agile, how this can be transformed to the agile teams and all that. At the same time, you must be learning about the prediction, okay? Because normally AI prediction, AI power predictions, and as well as the kind of insights that we need to be learned. This is also one of the key and important element when in to be known with. And how finally how this can be practiced in Scrum, okay? Because we need to know and we need to learn this from the practice perspective, AI practice, Scrum practice perspective, how this artificial intelligence can be implemented, what kind of tools are being used, because developmental side, the kind of tools that we are going to use is different, because we are using some TensorFlow, PyTorch and TensorFlow. These are the different tools that we use. But from the artificial intelligence, from the product owner point of view, so we need to know about what are the different tools that can be imparted for any product owner role and all. So how these predictions can be made, right? So how the Scrum practices that we are going to discuss, all these things are something being into the product owner that we need to know. This is what generally and high level understanding about the role of a product owner using artificial intelligence nowadays. Because when there is any transformations that we are taken place, even imparting some artificial intelligence process implementation is becoming inevitable in some conditions. So in this regard, this is what something it was, and what is that something that we are going to discuss in detail about the product owner, right? So what are the key areas that we need to discuss, and we must be knowing about the prompt engineering or something like, right? So what are the detailed part, that we are going to discuss in the next session.